Alright, in this video we're checking out the Caddx Baby Ratel, and this one is a camera that I've been waiting for quite a while now. It's the nano-sized 14mm with the M8 lens, and it's got the exact same sensor as the original Ratel, which is micro-sized and heavier. So let me explain all the differences between the original micro-sized and the new nano-sized Baby Ratel. So other than, of course, it's 19 millimeters for the micro, 14 millimeters for the nano, M12 lens for the micro, M8 lens for the nano. The weight difference here, I'll show you that here in a second. Also the input voltage difference as well. So the original micro goes 5 to 40 volts. It has a bigger voltage regulator, and it doesn't show it on here, but the voltage range on the nano is 3.5 to 5.5 volts. So if you put in too much voltage on this, you will fry the board, so be aware of that. Now the sensor on both these cameras is the same sensor as the 1/1.8 inch sensor, 1200 TV line, CMOS, NTSC PAL switchable, 4.3 and 16.9 switchable. The field of view on the lens here is about the same, so this one here is the 2.1mm version of the micro. It also comes in a 1.66mm version, which just has a 180 degree field of view, and then these have a 160 degree field of view, and the field of view on these lenses are about the same. So this is an M12, I think this is a 2.1mm lens on this one here on the micro, and here on the nano I think this is a M8 1.8mm lens. It gives a pretty similar field of view. It's a little bit more fisheye on the nano versus the micro, so something to keep in mind. It's not nearly as fisheye as the 1.66mm version. Alright, so in the box you get your controller board along with a little adapter to convert it from nano size to micro size if your mounts only take micro sized cameras, and of course you get your Allen key and your mounting screws. Alright, so here is the weight of the Baby Ratel, about 4.45 grams. And this is the weight of the original micro, 8.52 grams. So roughly 4 grams heavier for the micro versus the nano, along with obviously being able to fit into a smaller mount, which is going to be great for your toothpick builds. Alright, so take a quick look at the image quality here, and it is, as far as I can tell, pretty much identical to the original Ratel. Of course, it should have the exact same sensor, same size, same specs, same latency. Is all the specs, other than the ones I mentioned earlier, are the same. It's just smaller and lighter and not as wide of a voltage range. So that's pretty much it. So I'll go over the menus here. It's going to be the same as on the original Ratel, and I will link the original video down in the description. But you can see here that under Image Enhance, all of these things like contrast, sharpness, color gain is on auto, and in the flight demo you're going to see everything on stock settings. This is all the stock settings. What I would recommend though, and I'm not going to really show you any footage on it, is that you want to take the sharpness here and you want to take it down to 0. I think on stock it's around 5, I think, maybe 7. It's a little unclear as to what the default value is on auto, because I think it does shift around. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. Somewhere between 1, 2, or 3 on sharpness, depending on what you like. It's a little bit too sharp on the default settings for my taste, but I am just going to show you the footage on the stock settings like I always do. And of course here under video settings, you can change your video standard, NTSC or PAL, and then the image ratio is 4:3:16:9. If you, just like on the original Ratel, if you switch it to 16:9, it cuts off the top and the bottom, so you do lose vertical field of view if you go to the 16:9 format. Okay, so yeah, that's going to do it for the bench portion of this review. I'm going to show you the footage now. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, this is my favorite camera. It's been for a long time. I know that there's been some reliability issues out there, some complaints as to the original Ratel not working. I haven't had any problems with any of mine. I think I've got like 15 of these now, all working still, and now I'm really looking forward to switching over most of my micros over to the nano, because basically I don't see any disadvantages to the Nano. Obviously you have to give it 5 volts, otherwise you're going to burn it out. But other than that, field of view seems to be pretty much the same. I feel it's totally flyable. It's got the same sensor, which I love. Great image quality and great wide dynamic range, great low light performance. It is, because of the smaller M8 lens over the M12 lens, the aperture is a tiny bit smaller. It's barely noticeable, and it's only noticeable in very low light situations. You get a bit more noise in the video, but I normally don't fly in very, very dark lighting conditions, so I don't think that's much of a disadvantage. I think the weight savings and size savings is a better advantage versus the very small loss in low light. That's just my opinion of that. But yeah, I think this is going to be the camera to go to if you got a micro and you don't want, you don't mind losing a little bit of image quality. It's just a very, very tiny amount. Yeah, this is definitely worth it in my opinion. Anyway, here's the footage. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.